Is the A to Z podcast. Expert insights on leadership, business, real estate, investing, and growth.
Today we're going to talk about this infamous character and entity, the third voice. You have experience with the third voice. You have been maybe managing it, but at least I know you know about it. What I'm going to do today is we're going to talk about it publicly, and then the types of third voices that we may encounter and how to manage them successfully. I'm going to give you some stories, some examples. Here is my hope. At the end of this conversation, you'll be very comfortable that you've been hearing the third voice and you're not crazy. And also, if you are an influencer, very important person who has a voice, a brand, I can tell you at the end of this conversation what kind of third voices might have been used against you and that you should be aware of. Let's start first. What is the third voice? This is the voice which is in you. Some of them are without you, and some of them are institutional. Let's begin with the type of third voices. The first one is within you. Second one, people around you. And the third one is institutional. Let's talk about the voice within. There are different versions of third voices within you, and you're not crazy because of hearing these voices. Sometimes you stand in front of your mirror and you're telling yourself positive things. I am enough. I can do this. And any kind of positive things that you say about yourself, there is a third voice. Very, very calm, confident third voice. Do you think you're that? I don't think so. Have you forgotten from where you've come from, who your families are, in your bank account? This third voice is so strong that a lot of people listen to it. They don't come back again in front of the mirror to tell themselves who they want to be, where they want to go, what they could do. They kill their dream. In some cases, this third voice, you meet someone, you like this person, you want to work with this person. You go back home, you read their Facebook or LinkedIn, or you watch their videos, and there is a voice that tells you that this is not the right person. This voice, I sometimes listen to this voice. I trust this voice, but I verify it because what I'm reading or what I'm watching is on the surface. I don't know this person, their story, the context in which they are speaking, and also what kind of origin story that they have. Maybe this is a great person. I don't want to define them based on their social media appearance. How do I do that third voice that told me don't move forward with this person? I meet this person. I talk to them via Zoom or in person. I want to ask them questions to make sure that I am in a good company. I trusted that voice. It could be my hunch, it could be my intuition, but I want to verify it. I don't just believe it and just act on it. I've seen so many people. They meet someone, they like them, all of a sudden they read something about them or they watch something and they don't want to talk to them. They already defined them. This is who they are. I don't want to do anything with this person. Maybe they are missing the most important opportunity, a lifetime opportunity that they got. There is also a powerful third voice. I actually call it the voice. This voice is the voice of your God. It's within you. My God may be different than yours, but whoever uses your God, there is a God voice. Here is a challenge. When it comes to this little belittling third voice, it's from your ego. In most cases, trying to protect you. Because if you believe yourself as someone important, if you raise your bar And if you go out and do something based on that image, you may fail. And ego doesn't want you to fail. And therefore, it limits your bar. Since I know the voice of my ego, I completely dismiss it. I don't listen to it. When it becomes so loud, I go and read some biographies. I confess some quotations, some inspirational words to silence it, which means I don't listen to the ego. I try to use different methods to completely silence it. But when it is my self, my like gut feeling or intuition, I hear it, but I verify it. But when it comes to God, I listen it. It overrides every opinion that I have. But it takes time. I need to be quiet. Sometimes I need to fast to get in that space, to go out of this beta state of mind, to leave the quiet, the chaotic world, to to listen. Because when that voice speaks, especially if you know your shepherd, you know it, and you say, you know what, this is the third voice that overrides every other voice. Before I go to the next type of third voice, I want you to realize this: the most powerful voice that can elevate you or belittle you is within you. I know a lot of people talk about somebody said about me this, or people are talking about me this. These are outside of you. If you conquer the third voice within you, the outside voices, they have little power. Yes, they have power, but they have little power. And a lot of people lower their bar, hide behind the table, give up on their vision because of the third voice, the wrong third voice within. Here is the second third voice. This is third parties. You might have seen this. You meet someone, you like this person, you go out and talk to your spouse, your friends, your mentor, or someone you trust, and they have bad opinion about that person. They immediately bring a negative thing about them. The idea is they want you to drop that person. Very weak people who don't do their homeworks, they do that. I can give you a couple of examples. I met someone, very successful guy. He has his own organization. He's active in the community. I really like the way he talks, the way he communicates, his beliefs, his principles, and I like this person. And I start to talk to people like, this guy is a great guy. I plan to work with him. And I remember one of my friends. He told me, "So and so, did you really talk to him? Like he just detested the fact that I made this person. Did you even actually talk to him?" I say, "Yeah. Don't you know that he's divorced?" I was like, "What's divorce to do with what I'm talking about?" And he was like, "Oh, yeah, I know. I don't trust people who are divorced. I don't trust people who are married, not married and divorced." Now, this guy hears a third voice, which is like dogmatic like that. This is he. Me, I'm not like that. I know people who are married who cheat against their spouse, who are married who are not trustworthy. And I know also people who divorced not because of their reason, not because of their cause. This is because of somebody's issue, somebody's problem. So I can't really count that against them. Let's say they're divorced, but it's nothing to do with what I'm trying to work with them. I'm not trying to bring my daughter for them to marry, or my friend or my sister to marry them. That's not what I'm there. I'm there to work with this person. He's a good person to work with, and I listen to this, but I don't make this to make a call, a decision for me to work with this person. Another person again, very great guy. I was talking to one of my friends. He told me, "Don't you know that this guy produces some alcohol?" I don't want to mention the specific alcohol he produces because some people may know this person. because this person knows that I'm not a fan of alcohol. Yeah, I drink here and there wine, but I'm not a drinker. He knows that I don't like that. And when I mentioned, I mean, this person is a great guy. He told me, "Don't you know that he produces so and so? How come you work with this guy?" And I told him, "This is nothing to do what I'm trying to do with this person. Whatever he want to do in his private life, that's him. In my case, this is what I view. These are the strengths I'm reviewing, and these are nothing to do with this person. What I'm saying is, when I hear a third voice, a third person telling me about something negative about some person, especially without telling me their strength, I'm always doubtful. I question that. It could be jealousy. It could be they don't like this person because of they are not within their religion, with their ethnicity, or maybe they don't like them because they're jealous and they are their competitors. I don't know their motives, and therefore I hear what they say. I put it at the back of my mind, but I keep on meeting that person, working with this person. And at one point, I may bring this up. Hey, by the way, I don't tell you who told me, but I heard this. I want to hear from them. Why go this extra mile? Because there is no perfect person in the world. There is no way I meet someone who is so perfect that the people around me gonna endorse him or her. No way. And because of that, when I meet someone with a lot of strength and some limitations and weaknesses. And the most important thing is I deal with the limitations and the weaknesses the way I need to manage it, but I use their strength and their competitive advantage to work with them. What about you? Do you just trust the third voice and just make decisions, or what? I can give you a very interesting third voice. I met someone, he's a very influential guy, and he want to work with me. But before he left, he told me that I need to introduce you to my spouse. I don't want to work with someone without the approval of my spouse. You know what I believed when I left? This relationship doesn't work because I have seen it in the past. I remember I had one girlfriend and she told me, I like you, I want to get married to you, but first I have to take you to my family. And if they like you, I'm going to marry you. If they don't like you, we don't get married. Here was my response to her. Look, you're the one marrying me. I'll try everything possible for them to like me, but I don't want them to marry me, because even if they like me today and allow you to marry me, down the road, for whatever reason, if they don't like me, they may tell you to divorce me or make my marriage miserable. And then I walked away, because I know a lot of stories like that. So I'm not buying into that. The same way this guy, he told me he's gonna go and talk to his spouse. That's his right. Let him do. And I don't know his spouse, how smart, how intelligent this person was. I don't mention their sex so that I don't want them to be identified. And then the time came, it was Zoom. We met via Zoom. And without even hearing a voice from me, this spouse start to attack me. And you can see from the voice and demeanor, me, I respected that person because of the person that I met. This person is a spouse who brought me to this meeting. I didn't say anything disrespectful. I tried to manage that and just finish that meeting, because I was sure this person never heard my story, never knew what I could and I couldn't do or do. This person doesn't know me, doesn't have my origin story, my context. And why are they so negative before they even hear a word from me? And I felt that was like a disadvantage for me to enter into that relationship. The point is this: sometimes people over trust a third voice. They don't have their own mechanism to trust the third voice but verify it. For me, for example, if somebody brings to me to buy something, if I feel like I can't trust this person or the product, I have many ways to verify. I can go and read reviews. I can ask people who use that product, work with this person, but I don't want to act like, okay, I cannot put a finger on it, but I don't trust this person. I don't act like that. The same way, if somebody tells me, oh, I cannot put my finger on it, but I don't trust this person, I don't want you to work with this person. I don't buy that into it. I take it into account. I go out and verify. Now, the third one may interest a lot of people, the deeper one. There is institutional voices. I was in Addis Ababa. At that time, I was active in what was going on in Ethiopian politics. It was before 2005, before I came here. I was sitting in a very popular restaurant. And this person in the opposite side of me, he was a very popular guy. Most probably everybody knows this person in Addis Ababa. And I don't know why, I just brought this up. I told him, by the way, right now, there may be a spy or two who are listening what we're talking about, because you are a very important person and they want to hear what you going to say and who you are meeting and so on. He was like, Sige, just you're too paranoid, because I know it's a fact, but he was like, just forget about it. I don't think a government wastes a lot of resources to just follow me and watch me who I am meeting and what I'm saying. He didn't believe it now. In one hand, I thought this is a smart person. Most probably they know this is happening, but they don't want to give a pleasure to those people who are listening and following them. Or maybe they're clueless about what was going on. And I started to give this person data. Do you know how many spies are in Addis Ababa at that time? He said, I don't know, maybe a couple of hundred to just make sure that there are no terrorists and there are no danger for the government. I laughed, truly laughed, because the real statistics was 120,000 spies in Addis Ababa. And this guy is one of the 1% in Addis Ababa. And I was sure, if not multiple, at least one spy was following him and see where he's going, what he's doing. Here is the thing. In most cases, in many countries, if you are a very important person, if what you say, what you do, your brand, and who you are, and the platform that you have, if some important people in governments, if they don't like you, believe me, they will watch you. They will follow you. They use some institutions. But here is the thing. If there is law, order, they most probably don't do anything against you because they don't want to be in trouble. They respect the Constitution. You can say whatever you want. You can meet whatever you want. As far as you are within the legal bound, they don't do anything about you. But if they find something that's out of legal bound, they got you. But my interest is not this. I can go deeper, but I don't want to go there. My interest is this. An institutional third voice, I can give you a couple of examples, very relevant to what we're talking about, the third voice. Let's talk about a founder. You're just a founder, you found your company, and now you are competing with one of the most successful companies. And you are, step by step, you are eroding their market share. What do you think they're going to do? Some, they play clean. Okay, let's compete with this startup. And they compete with you. Some may play dirty, but within the legal bound. What they could do is they try to lure your key people, your key clients, and they take away from you. It's unfair, but it's legal. But there are some. There could be few. They use some illegal means. And let me tell you one of the illegal, I don't mention the illegal ones, but because the illegal could go killing you or trapping you or ambushing you and make mistake, and then they want to close you, or they do some stuff and buy you and so on. These are not legal. But let's talk about the legal one they could do. They may hire someone, and therefore they find third voices that your key people listen to. It could be your board members, your key clients, your sponsors, your investors. They approach them. They give them some story. These third voices. They give them some believable stories based on your story. It could be from the past or something fabricated. The goal is this third voice, institutional voice, approaching these key people that are making this startup to succeed, and approach these key people and tell them stories to doubt the founder, to question, even sometimes to put him for vote of confidence, even remove that person. And then they buy it with the new founder and with the new board. Or at least they can create doubt in these key people through the third voice. They believe more than the startup founder. Therefore, they walk away or they make it hard for the founder to succeed. Now, I'm not interested in knowing, but you have to know. If you don't know that there are third voices that could be used to create some havoc against you because you are a brand, you're influencer, your voice, what you say, what you do, your platform is maybe a threat for a company or for important people, influencers, or some powerful people. Believe me, one of the ways they use is a third voice. That third voice will talk to the people around you and convince them that you bad, even if you're not bad, and then make you fail. Here is the thing: knowing it one thing, but how do you manage that? Here is how I manage third voices. For example, my own third voices, some of them I shut down. If it is ego, if it is my intuition, I verify, I trust, I verify. If it is from God, I follow it. God has my best interest. He knows what I don't know. But when it comes to other people, I have always this policy: I care about you, I trust you, you're my friend, you're my colleague, you're my mentor, but there is a limit. Don't tell me negative things about other people who are my friend, who are my prospects, my colleagues. If you speak about that, I listen to you, fine, but don't expect me to quit working with these people. I remember I had a friend, and this friend, we had three. We were working on a project. One of the friend did something the other one didn't like. It was a proposal that we were submitting. I don't give you details, but this guy decided that he will never work with the third friend. He said, I will never see his face. He's a cheater. Izzy, I like you. You brought me into this project, but he cheated. I will never see his face, and so on. And every time when we meet, he asks, are you still working with this guy? I tell him, yeah. And at one point, he stopped me and he said, I told you he cheated. I told you he's a bad guy. Why still you work? Because he wanted loyalty from me based on what he didn't like. Knowing how we humans sometimes have biases and anger and jealousy, I'm not going to follow him and abandon my friend unless he give me some reasons to do that. I can give you so many examples. My principle is this: I can be friend with people who don't like each other. I respect both of them. I know what's going on among themselves, but I want to work with them. Why? Because I know the limitations of these third voices. They may have good intention to advise me, to give me some information, but I know that their information may not be perfect, may not be relevant to me. When it comes to institutional, I'm aware of that they exist. At this point, I'm not that important. When I was in Ethiopia, yes. But when I'm here, I'm not important that much, but I'm aware of they exist. The awareness is going to help you because you're not careless in what you're saying and what you do. Let me give you another example, which is about Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson, when he was accused of molestation, initially he settled, and it was, for a while it was calm, everything was okay. And a British journalist asked him, okay, everybody's wondering why you settled. Unless there is a mistake you've done and a sin you committed, why don't you talk about it frankly? Let me come and record Wonderland and ask you any question, no holds bar. I can ask you. I don't know why he didn't have his lawyer. I don't know why he didn't have advisors. he was open to that conversation with that lawyer, with that media guy. He took him, Michael Jackson, he took him, he toured him, he danced for him, he became friend to him. All of a sudden, while Michael trusted him, this journalist asked him this question. Let me ask you, are these kids that you support, do they come to your bedroom? Michael said, yeah. Let me ask you, do they sleep with you on your bed? Yeah, these are kids, and I give them milkshake. We have fun, and then yeah, we sleep together, and it was a big deal. Now, I don't know the whole story, but Michael Jackson, when he said that, I don't think this will start a process that completely destroyed his legacy. The legal process he's passed through, he didn't know. I'm not saying he should not say that, but he should have known that. Even if he was honest, you can see from his face, he was honest. Yeah, yeah, they come to my bedroom. Yeah, we sleep with kids, and I'm sure that a lot of people roll their eyes. Just the fact that he was doing that, but you could see his innocence. He was not hiding anything. If he thought he was doing bad things, he wouldn't have said. Anyways, I'm not making judgment. I'm not saying I know the full story. I'm not trying to defend Michael. But if you are an influencer like Michael, you pay attention to what you say publicly, because the media could take that and completely twist it. And they did for Michael. They picked that portion. They forgot everything else about that documentary. They just picked that and they painted him like a monster. If he had a lawyer, if he had an advisor, he would be careful. That's why smart, successful influencers, they don't go and meet people, especially journalists and lawyers, by themselves. Not because they are hiding anything, but they don't want to say and do things that could be misinterpreted and even twisted. Their lawyers would tell them, don't answer these questions. And they say, oh, I'm not answering because my lawyer told me. The lawyer knows what could come after that documentary. The point I'm telling you is that if you are an influencer, a very important person, and if you think that you have a voice, a platform which is influential in your country, in your community, you need to understand that there are third voices, like the media. The people who believe the media more than Michael believed the media, and they condemned him. What about you? You are influencer, you have platform, you are an important person. Are you thinking that third voices don't affect you? Maybe you think. How do you protect yourself from the damage that may come from a third voice? I'm not saying do wrong things and cover up. I'm not saying that. You could be innocent, you could be truthful, you could be legal, but the third voices could damage you. And you need to know how to manage that. In conclusion, we need to understand that there are voices within us, around us, and there are institutional voices. First of all, we need to know they exist. Second of all, we need to figure out and come up with a framework or a process on how to handle them, especially if you are an achiever, if you want to be successful, if you are a person who comes out to the front and facing the public, and you are a media guy, you have platform and so on, you need to understand about the power of the third voice. It could elevate you or it could demise you. It could destroy you, your trustworthiness, and your brand. Thank you very much for watching. I would love to hear your experience. What kind of third voices within you, around you, that affect you, and how do you deal with them? If you have any story you want to share, you can also reach out to me offline, and I want to have this conversation with you. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.